Most OnlyFans creators fail on TikTok because they set up their account wrong and get flagged before they even start. In this video, I'll walk you through the exact TikTok setup we use in my agency, including security, privacy, posting, and growth strategy, so you can build an account that lasts. The first part is account creation and security setup. For US-based accounts, say you're not in the US, you're somewhere in Europe, you're somewhere in South Pacific, this is how you would set up your account to be based in the US. First, you need to reset the phone, complete reset, like factory reset, and insert a dead USA SIM card, preferably a good provider. I typically use T-Mobile SIM card. If you use the phone for personal use, run your personal number, and that personal number will be your local TikTok account. So if you're based in Australia and you do Australian, then you're just going to target that audience. Yes, some audience tips over to the US, especially once you start going viral, okay? But if you want a targeted account in the US from the start, you want to put in a dead USA SIM card and run up the account, okay? After you put in the US SIM card, you want to always connect through a good, decent VPN. Personally, we use NordVPN or Surfshark. They are actually both the same company. And to be extra safe, you can buy a dedicated IP address for 1 year, and that is quite affordable. Dedicated IP is an IP address that is not shared with other users. Okay? Make sure once you start to create the account, you want to create it with an email. Okay? An email, and then verify the account and verify it with a SIM card. A phone number. Now the phone number can be just a burner phone number, or it can be another one. So there is services like SMS verified, SMS pooled. Look up those if you're creating that account in the US for US targeted. You want to make sure prior to that, when you factory reset the phone, that you've set the account to the US and it's in US English, okay? So just everything US, the App Store US, all these things need to be connected. You can use a fake address locator as well. Okay, so that's just setting up the phone, that part, okay? And you want to make sure that the VPN always connects. So if this phone is your phone to be used with, to be targeted in the US, you want to just keep that phone separated for the US, okay? Now, if you have the phone for your personal use, say you're in Australia, then that phone is going to be just for Australian targeted TikToks, majority. The majority of the demographic is going to be targeted to that country, okay? So once you've created the account and you set up the phone, you want to then choose a good VPN, okay? The good VPN from the start, actually. What I mean is, once you've created the account, you want to choose a good username. Now the username ideally should match your Instagram, so it makes everything a lot simple. They know it's Allison Smith, and your Instagram username is Allison Smith. Like, that's really easy. But if the last part of your name's a bit long, it's better to put some abbreviations. Abbreviations like its name, just name, these types of abbreviations, or the actual niche that you're targeting. For example, Asian Ahito. I wouldn't actually use that actually. Asian anime, Asian anime girl. People just remember that. But just be wary that the same username that you choose for TikTok, you should actually have identical account that runs in parallel, because that is the landing page to the OnlyFans. Most people get this confused because they'll just go Allison Smith official. They'll make the account incorrect. And then you make another account and go Allison Smith official 2. Like, that's not going to help. That's going to get your account flagged because all you did was just add a letter at the end. So when you're setting up the username, it's actually very important that the username is congruent and it matches your Instagram, and you haven't burnt out a two-worded long, or just put some numbers in at the end and just thinks that's gonna do it. You actually have to write down some ideas that will help the user find you outside of TikTok. It's very important. So once you've got the username nailed down, you then want to go to privacy and security settings. And then you want to go to audience control and two-factor authentication you want to set up. These are some other things you want to set up with the account. Why? Because if you don't know and you don't understand how to check your account status, then you could actually be flagged and you don't know it. And you'll be like, why am I only getting 1,000 views? Why am I getting 0 views? It's because you haven't checked your account status. So you want to go to account and privacy and scroll down to account status and check the account status. If you don't know how, there's plenty of tutorials on TikTok. And a lot of people get this confused because it is a little bit tricky to find, but once you find it, you'll know where it is. But that's not just the area where TikTok will actually inform you with a notification that a TikTok has been flagged. Say if you've gone, if TikTok deems it doesn't suit their platform. Okay? You want to allow all comments, but ideally turn off DMs, because if people think they can contact you on TikTok, then they're not going to bother to go through and have a look at your Instagram page and try to contact you there. The objective is for them to go to your OnlyFans and so subscribe, you know? So there is some other methods you want to look into, depending on your niche and content that you're actually pushing for. But the first option where you want to go is having, because there's an option for account audience control. And audience control basically allows you to pick whether 18 plus is off or 18 plus is on. Now, ideally, you want to have 18 plus off, not because your target audience is below 18 plus, but just to get to that mass engagement. If it appeals to a lot of people and gets like awareness, then it's going to get pushed out further and further. TikTok hasn't really fine-tuned their 18 plus on for virality. Why? Because if 18 plus is on, you actually need to be signed in on TikTok. A lot of people browse TikToks without actually being signed in, or they just actually have 18 plus off, or they actually just have 18 plus on, so all their content is going to be PG content, which is safe. And this is even for adults. So if you just say if an adult just signs up and they're saying they're 30, they're going to have 18 plus on, okay? No, so they're going to have 18 plus off, and that's all the content. It's only if you switch 18 plus on, then the other accounts won't see that stuff. Okay, hopefully that makes a bit of sense, but maybe a bit too much detail there. Once you start going through that and understanding the settings, you then want to create a bio that matches some, which I approve to have some kind of a niche name in your username or name. But you can have that also in your bio to target that. But the bios don't need to be too long. The content that you actually do speaks a lot more for the target audience, for the optimization of the audience. Of course, you want to have Instagram plugged into the bio, but not from the get-go. Just want to have a basic bio, nothing too much, maybe one sentence of something, until you actually starting to get the account warmed up, okay? After that, you have the account set up, you have the bio set up, you have the name approved, and you have the funnel figured out. You understand the settings. You then now want to go up to the warm-up phase. And that is to scroll on TikTok for at least 30 minutes when you've created an account. You don't want to follow right away. You want to scroll, you want to comment, you want to save, you want to download, and then you want to follow. Okay? This is actually going to build the trust score of your TikTok account. It builds the trust score before you start posting. So avoid spam bot behavior. Don't follow too fast. Don't just scroll, follow, and follow 100 people, 100 random people. That's going to get flagged quite quickly. And now, Quinton, you'll be asking, like, why do I have to do all these things? Well, TikTok and other social media platforms, they're up against bots. So if you act like a bot, it's going to flag it as a bot, okay? And then you want to go and start to create some TikToks, get inspiration, go off your agency's blueprint, save some content that you actually could recreate. And then you want to begin posting, but you don't want to post all the content at once. So say 6 videos in one go. No, you need to space it out. You need to post. The first video should get the initial TikTok boost to figure out what kind of audience should TikTok test this out to, and they'll be testing it out to certain groups of people, okay, based on the initial piece of content that you've created at the start. So that's why it's really important to have your avatar, the person in mind, or who you want to target. People that like Asian girls. Is it someone that likes trans girls? Is it someone that likes midgets? Like, you actually have to think and like talk to the avatar that you're actually speaking to on that in your first testing pool of TikToks. Okay, this is going to help boost it. Or are you going to go a different route, a little bit less niche targeted? Any which way, TikTok's going to do their job to find people that have that like your content, like the specific pieces of content that you make. Okay, always check the account status, and you can do that in 2 areas: in TikTok Studio or in the actual settings a bit lower down. Okay. After you've built 1K followers, like right now as we speak, the URL is a bit glitched. Maybe TikTok is rolling in a new system where they're not allowing you to post the URL. But once you've hit 1K followers on TikTok, you can actually post your link in the link in bio. And with our link in bio provider, we can go from TikTok off the platform to a link tree, and then to Instagram, then to Instagram to OnlyFans. Now, you can just put in the Instagram link, but when the user clicks that, it's going to be you're going to be signed out. The user's going to be signed out, so they have to see something that's appealing and sign back in, manually find out, or log through a browser onto their Instagram. Once you've hit 1,000 followers as well, you can also target and do TikTok lives. So yeah, TikTok, to grow TikTok for OnlyFans, you need a structure, security setup, privacy settings, and two account strategy. You want to look at who your target audience is, but you can still make money in your local market if you're from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, UK, Germany, France, all these countries, if your TikToks are catered to that audience. So I would definitely not count out local markets. We have a model that's in Mexico, and we just get Spanish-speaking Mexican audience, and that still brings in traffic, and that still makes money. So don't just think necessarily from the get-go targeting just the US is suited. Why? Because sometimes you're not from that country. Your content plan needs to be on point for that audience as well. Okay, so it's not just as straightforward than just make an account and start posting. No, there's certain other things that nobody really tells you. And that's why it's very important to set the account up the right way from the start to avoid getting flagged. And then once you start going and posting, you need to avoid being picked up by the algorithm for being too sexual, because that could get your account banned as well or flagged. So with this setup, setting up your TikTok account, okay, you want to reset your phone, you want to have a USA SIM card, you want to have a VPN, you want to have your iCloud set up and your phone set up to the US if you're outside. You want to create an account with email. You want to then verify that with phone number. You want to then create a good username and fill in the bio and add a profile picture. And then warm up the account for 30 minutes, watching reels, find people in the same niche as you, engage in that, like, comment, save, download, then follow, warming up the account. Then only after that, you want to then go back and look at your content plan. Once you looked at your content plan, you want to then create TikToks and save them into the draft and don't post them all at once. You want to start dripping them out. You then want to, at the same time, either before or during, you want to learn the TikTok settings because a high chance for the industry that we're in, you're going to get flagged on something. Now, everyone gets flagged at some point, but it's actually just learning what did you do that you could be doing better, or what could you be doing something that's different that improves and doesn't let your account get flagged, okay? So if you need help with your TikTok growth or account setup, you can DM me on Instagram at Quinton Keatley. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you need me to talk over anything else, I'll be dropping out more YouTube videos on a weekly or a couple times a week on issues that actually come up and actually need more clarification to actually grow your TikTok in 2025. Because I know a lot of people just give up on TikTok, but it's actually super, super powerful. If you can actually set up your TikTok the correct way, warm it up, and then create TikToks that don't get flagged when you're getting an 80% target audience of that particular target by using a SIM card and a VPN. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you need help, drop me a message, and I'll see you on the next one.